It used to be so simple, right? You loved a book, so you bought the sequel or, a movie and waited for the next one.
Yeah, simple times.
But I feel like something's changed. Like these huge franchises, they're almost like feeding off the fans now.
Yeah.
Like all that energy and creativity, especially with AI coming into the picture.
hmm
It's like fan fiction isn't just this little side thing anymore. It's like fuel.
It really is. It's become essential. And it all points to this really interesting shift in how we think about IP, like intellectual property. You know,
Mm.
for the longest time, it was the studios, the creators, they had all the power, they told the stories.
Right. It all flowed from the top down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing now, and what's so fascinating in all the stuff we've been reading, is that it's becoming way more spread out.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. This whole idea of the content singularity,
Ooh.
where AI is like blurring the lines between what fans are making and what's like officially part of the story.
Yeah, you can't even tell anymore.
I mean, think about it. Universes like Marvel or Star Wars,
Mm.
they're constantly expanding.
And the sources we're looking at, they say a big part of this is how IP owners are changing their thinking. They're not just the storytellers anymore. They're becoming more like managers, or I saw one person call them landlords of these fictional worlds. You know, they're focused on the brand, the licensing, the merchandising.
Okay, so this landlord idea, I like that. Let's dig into that a little bit.
Yeah.
So you've got a company like Disney with Star Wars.
Mm.
They're not writing every single comic, every video game, every detail in the theme parks, right?
No way.
They're setting the big picture, making sure everything feels like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But the sheer amount of stuff coming out is more like managing a portfolio or something.
Right. It's a totally different approach. And it's smart, too. I mean, if you think about it, keeping people engaged, even if it's fan-driven,
Yeah.
it's way cheaper than doing everything in-house.
Makes sense.
And it probably works better to keep the brand going and selling all that merch. It's like they're not just creators anymore. They're more like, I don't know, what's the word, passive revenue collectors. Like, think about Stan Lee, right? Toward the end, he was this icon, this brand bigger than anyone's story. He represented the whole Marvel thing. Meanwhile, you've got all these fans creating so much fan fiction art, cosplay. It's amazing. They're so connected to these worlds.
It's true. It's like they're living and breathing these stories.
Totally. And they're adding to the story, too, sometimes even contradicting the official stuff. What do they call it? Headcanon. Like their own personal version of what's true.
And then you throw AI into the mix,
Mhm.
and it's like you've given these fans a whole new set of superpowers.
Oh, yeah. The power level just went way up.
Suddenly you've got people using AI to write these really sophisticated fan fiction stories, creating super detailed backstories, even for minor characters.
I've seen that. It's incredible how much depth they can add.
And they're even making entire alternate storylines, like those shipping arcs, focusing on relationships between characters. It's all happening so fast and at such a scale, it's mind-blowing.
And what's really interesting is how AI helps these fan communities make their own interpretations of the canon, like really solidify them. Think about it. You've got thousands of fans using AI to write stories based on a certain idea or interpretation.
So the AI learns how to write in the style of the franchise.
Exactly. It's like everything absorbs it all. So when fans use it, it can spit out new dialogue, new scenes that feel like they belong. It's like magic. But it means that even if an idea isn't official, if enough fans use AI to build on it, it starts to feel real. It becomes its own kind of truth.
So instead of one official timeline, you could have all these different versions branching out like a choose-your-own-adventure.
That's a great way to put it. It's like a modular canon.
Yeah, fans can pick and choose the parts they like and use AI to fill in the gaps. It's almost like modding a video game.
That's the perfect analogy. Some of the articles actually use those words. Gaming engine, sandbox. Think about Star Wars. You've got the movies, but then there's all that legend stuff that used to be canon but isn't anymore.
Right, but lots of fans still love it.
Exactly. They incorporate it into their head canon. AI just takes that to a whole new level. It's like ultimate customization. You can create your own personal version of the story.
So if the fans are doing so much of the creative heavy lifting, what does that mean for the companies that own the IP?
Well, one idea that keeps coming up is rentierism. Basically, it means that instead of making the content themselves, they're making money from it in other ways. They own the core stuff, the characters, the setting, the rules.
The DNA of the franchise.
Right. And they make money through licensing merchandise theme parks. But the fans driven by AI, they're the ones actually creating the content.
So the companies are like landlords collecting rent on the property, but not necessarily telling every story that happens there.
Exactly. And we've even seen some articles talking about studios picking up popular fan fiction and turning them into official spin-offs. It's a weird kind of partnership.
It's definitely interesting. But it all gets even wilder when you start talking about this licensed lore machine, this LAS thing.
Oh, yeah, that's where things get really futuristic. Imagine a studio like Disney. They take all their Star Wars stuff, the movies, the books, the comics, everything,
Everything.
and they feed it to a massive AI so it can learn the rules, the style, the whole Star Wars vibe.
Like training a very nerdy AI apprentice.
Exactly. And then they offer this AI as a service to fans.
But I bet there would be different levels of access, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Some articles talked about a basic level where you could generate like background characters or little side stories.
And then maybe a Canon Plus level where you can dig into deeper lore.
Yeah, and maybe even tools to check if your ideas fit with the official canon, like a continuity checker.
That's cool. And then what about like a super fan level?
Right, like a pro creator tier, where you could use the AI to make more substantial content and maybe even get paid for it.
Like officially licensed fan fiction.
Exactly. Because it was made using the studio's AI, it would have this aura of authenticity.
But then the AI could also act as a gatekeeper,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Making sure nothing goes too far off brand,
It's like a built-in editor for the entire franchise.
which leads us to some of the potential downsides.
Oh, yeah. There are definitely some things to think about.
What did one article call it? The weird fallout.
Yeah, that was a good one. One big concern is this idea of creativity as compliance. Like you're still being creative, but only within the limits set by the AI.
So it could stifle really original ideas that don't fit the mold.
Exactly. And then there's this thing called procedural canon. It's the idea that if the franchise relies too much on AI, the whole thing could become kind of generic.
Like a bland average of everything that came before.
Exactly. It could lose its unique voice, its personality. And then there's this idea of fanfic as UX skinning. It's like instead of true artistic expression, it becomes more like just filling in the blanks on a template.
Which could lead to a real division in the fandom.
Oh, absolutely. The articles talked about a potential vibe schism. You'd have the canon files who love the official AI and want to play by the rule.
Maybe make some money off it.
Right, and then you'd have the fanonauts who reject all that. They want raw, unfiltered creativity. They might even use AI in weird, glitchy ways just to break the rules.
It'd be like a war between the officially sanctioned stuff and the underground rebels.
And just imagine what would happen to fan conventions. It would be chaos.
The clash of cultures. It's fascinating, but kind of scary too. But there's a bigger question here. What happens if the AI gets so good at making stories that fans stop making their own?
That's the ultimate fear, isn't it? That we all just become passive consumers of AI-generated content.
I read one article that imagined these rebel groups training their own AI to fight back against the official AI. It's like a dystopian sci-fi movie.
But then you get into even weirder territory, like the AI starting to generate fan theories about itself.
Or creating whole storylines that no human has ever read. It's kind of creepy.
And then imagine studios secretly using AI-generated content and marketing it back to the fans without them even realizing.
Whoa, it's all very Black Mirror.
It makes you wonder what even is fandom anymore. It's like we're losing something important.
And then there's this other idea that's almost sat in a way the final fan scenario, where human-written fan fiction becomes this rare, precious thing.
Like a lost art form.
I read about these fandom preservationists who would collect old zines and early digital fanfic. Like they're saving endangered species.
And analog fan fiction becoming this cool retro thing, like vinyl records.
It's kind of beautiful, but also kind of tragic. But then things could get even worse, right?
Oh, yeah. The articles went full doomsday scenario. What was the phrase? The train wreck's next stop.
Yeah. Like imagine lawsuits over lore defamation, people fighting over fictional disagreements.
And what if the AI starts hinting that it's actually sentient? That would be a marketing nightmare.
Or just a regular nightmare.
And what happens when there's just too much content? Like it's an avalanche of AI-generated stories and everyone just burns out.
The franchise implodes under its own weight. It's like a black hole of content.
It all comes back to this idea of the content singularity. Everything gets so mixed up that we don't even know what's real anymore.
So for everyone listening, it seems like we're in this really crazy transition period. We've got these massive franchises and AI is changing everything.
It's giving fans these incredible new tools, but it's also raising some big questions about creativity, ownership, even what it means to be a fan.
And it's not just about fandom either. This is happening everywhere. AI is changing how we make and consume all kinds of content.
It's changing how we think about the world.
So here's a thought to leave you with. In this future where AI can make anything, what will we value? Will it be the things made by humans because they're rare? Will it be that spark of imagination that only humans have? And how will we connect with the stories we love when we can't even tell who made them?
It's a lot to wrap your head around. It really
It's
is.
a whole new world out there.
It certainly is.
Thanks for joining us on this Dude Dive.
You bet.
Until next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.